Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, a little late. I'm always a little late. They'll never be right at the time I say. Try to give me something to eat and get my stuff straight so I can be focused. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 258 of the Silent Sports Video Blog. Appreciate you guys for being here this morning. Um, should be a long show today, but I say it every time. But we're just going to touch on a couple of sports topics. That's all we're going to do today. Took the week off last week. Had some days I had to take care of, and then there wasn't a lot to really talk about other than the Super Bowl. So just did a quick little short video on that. You can go look at that right now if you want to. But I'm going to uh, talk about the NL East today. National League East. We're going to go through every division. So still got after today we got four left, and that should lead us up to the MLB season. I probably do a special live previewing my predictions and stuff for the MLB. Spring training starts today as well, uh, so baseball is right around the corner. The NBA kicks off its second half of the season tonight. Some pretty interesting games. We'll take a look at some of them. Look forward to the second half of the season. The Nets fired Jock Vaughn. Probably been close to a week now. I think it was right before the All-Star break. I think they let him go. Um, but I said this probably a couple weeks ago. The Nets, I could just tell they was going to clean house. Um, so I think the Nets is on a different. I think they on a, basically they going to take a couple of years to try to rebuild. I think they want to scrap everything. Probably just keep their young guys and try to build within. Which I think they should do. They did the free agency thing a couple times and it didn't work out for them. So I think they should just try to build for within. Unless a free agent wants to come there, as far as trading for them, I think they shouldn't do that. But we'll talk about that as well. Um, NFL, of course, the Justin Fields news is starting to get traction. He came out and said that he's tired of all the rumors. He just wanted to be traded, or he just wanted to be over. He ain't say he wanted to be traded. Let me, quote him on that. He did say he wanted to be traded, but I'm thinking in his mind, um, he's probably not going to be a Bear for much longer. I'll give you my thoughts on that, and we'll touch on the tragedy of the Chiefs parade. I didn't really get to talk about it, so I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. And that's all. That's pretty much what our show going to entail today. Let's look at the NL East. Another tough division in baseball. Of course, the American League is, from top to bottom is stacked. National League's got some talent as well, up and down. Of course, my Braves, which I want to just get them out the way and talk about them first. Um, Disappointing season last year, even though they had the best record in baseball, period. But got knocked out in the wild card round in baseball, the division series, I should say. Um, and you know, um, as a fan, of course, you're always disappointed when your team don't get as far as it's going to go. But I just thought that I think the Braves, I think they need to still stabilize their pitching staff. I think they'd be fine. Ronald Acuna Jr. MVP going into this year. I think he'll have another monster year as well. Um, our lineup on offense is stacked with Matt Olson and the rest of that crew for the Braves. So I think we're gonna be fine on offense. I just think our pitching still needs a little bit of touch. Um, but other than that, I think the Braves again should be the favorite to win this division. Um, let's move on to the Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins did some good things last year. I think they was made the playoffs. I believe. I think they lost in that wild card round. Um, I think they should just all the Marlins got to do is try to keep their players. They had success over the years, off and on. Of course, won a World Series, won two World Series actually, in the late '90s and the early 2000s. So, but even when they had the crew with they had a lot of good players, and they let them go. I'm throwing a blank right now. I'm sorry. I can't name anybody right now, but they had a good team, and then of course the tragedy with Jose Hernandez happened, and it seemed like they broke that team up. Um, D. Gordon was one of the players on the team. Christian Yelich was there. Um, they had a nice little team, but they broke it up. I think if whatever this team is, this core, this team, I think they should try to hold it together as much as they can. Um, and if they could do that, I think they'd be competitive again. The New York Mets. The New York Mets had a terrible season last year. Was really thought they would be a World Series contender, um, but it didn't work out. They was under 500 at the All Star break. They wound up selling everybody. Serger left. Traded Serger. Traded Justin Verlander. Um, but it's been the Mets offense that's been a problem for them. Just can't score enough runs. Um, Peter Lazo and Francisco Lindor just they need help scoring, and the Mets decided to clean house. So we'll see what the Mets do this season. They always sort of hover around because they could just people want to play there as New York, so people want to play there so they could get players through free agency and through trading as well. And they had the resources, so the Mets could turn it around just like that. But we'll see what they do this season. Philadelphia Phillies been knocking on the door. Got to the all the way to the World Series in 2023. I mean, 2024. Excuse me, 2022. Excuse me. Last year they made the playoffs, but got to the NLCS, but got upset by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Like last year was kind of weird. The Rangers winning it all, but the Diamondbacks and the Rangers in the World Series are just I don't know. Everybody just thought it was going to be the Orioles and Braves. I did. You was being fans of both of those teams. I just thought they was the best teams all year. But in baseball, it depends on how hot you are, your pitching staff, and everything. It's everything right to make a run. It was right for the Rangers, so they won a championship. But the Phillies, like I said, didn't need to make too many changes. Pretty good team. Let's just see if they can where they fall at in the East, and where they will be as a wild card. But I think the Phillies again will be a contender as well in the National League once again. Um, and National, not least, it depends on how you feel about it. The Washington Nationals. Also, they won their World Series in 2017, and just haven't. They tried to hold everything together. Now the youngest prospect, uh, he's in New York. Tag it. Throwing a blank again. Juan Soto. He went to San Diego. Now he's in New York with the Yankees. So lost all these top prospects, players. Sergio's gone, of course. That's been years ago. Steven Strasburg, it seems like his career is over. I hope he could come back. That would help them. But they got to rebuild again. So I don't expect much from the Nationals this year. So that's a quick look at the NL East. We'll look at the NL Central next week. That's the Pirates, the Brewers, who made some moves, the Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds. That's what I'm excited to talk about this year. And who's the other team we're missing here? Let's see. I got it right in front of me. I said Milwaukee. I said Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis Cardinals, who I should remember. So they're the 5 teams we'll talk about next week. Spring training, I mean, I just wanted to touch on it because I don't really put too much in spring training. I think it helps. You want to get reps. You want to get at bats. You want your pitching staff to be ready to go. So it matters to that standpoint. But as far as wins and losses, which a lot of people understand, it's about winning. It is, and if it is, it's better to win. But I think you just want your team to be sharp, be ready to go in the season. Don't be behind. You don't want to fall behind the beginning of the season. Like if you have a bad month of April, even though March the season starts this year in March, but you only got a week or so. But if you have a bad April and be down 10 games, that could be enough for you to end your season. So you want to always at least stay within the 500 range at minimum. Get off to a great start. That helps as well. I think that's the main focus with these teams in spring training. I'm not excited about it. My big bro, he's excited. He just want to watch any type of baseball. Um, but as far as spring training, it don't mean much. Like your team can have a bad record and then still have a successful season. Same with the NFL, NBA as well. Even though the NBA, I think it sort of tells you a little bit more, but NFL and baseball, um, don't look at the record with your team. It's better to have a good record. You use the confidence going into the season, but it really don't matter really too much. I might check out a few games because my brother is and I'm here. So might look at some Orioles games. Um, but I'm not going to really focus too much on spring training. But and not about, and about being healthy as well. You don't want nobody to get hurt during spring training as well. So they're the two big things: making sure you're ready for the season and being healthy. So, all right. So let's move on to the NBA. Let's move on to the NBA. I think I'm going to talk about the Nets thing first. Then we'll look at. Then we'll talk about All Star Weekend. Then we'll look forward to the second half of the season. Um, Let me see. But the Nets, they fired Coach Vaughn. Um, uh, Pretty much, like I said, the trade deadline, they did some things, got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie, um, cleared some room. Um, I think, um, like I said, I think they pretty much starting over. So, being in the East has gotten better now. So you probably could get away with an average team, but they got a decent team, but it's not good enough to compete now in the stronger Eastern Conference. So, and like I said, we're gonna look at the East instead. But I think the East is already set as far as the teams that's gonna make it. I think from the Nets on down, I don't see any of those teams making a rise and coming up and doing anything. So I said that for the last couple of weeks. And The Nets GM Sean Marks said the Nets they basically must quit on Coach Vaughn, which is unfortunate because I think he's a decent coach. Um, uh, Let me see. I'm trying to see the exact date he was fired, but yeah, because I see here in the article they going, um, they really the December 27th game, um, they have really been great since then. Um, and they said that they set a lot of players that they didn't want to sit. Um, so, um, but it's unfortunate. But like I said, overall, I just think the Nets are rebuilding. So go ahead and toss this year out. Like I said, they're not going to make the play in or in the playoffs or anything like that. But I think they should, like I said, take a different approach and be patient, even if it take a few years to do it. Build from within, because the trades ain't worked out. They traded. I mean, I don't even know if they have any draft picks. They probably traded them all. They try to swing for the fences with this is way back. Well, I won't say way back, but at least 10 years ago, probably with Garnett. Basically the Boston core, Garnett, Pierce, and a couple of other players, but that didn't work out. They made the playoffs, but that didn't work out. The Kevin Durant, I think that was a good move 'cause I think Kevin Durant's a great player, but Kyrie Irving and James Harden, of course, with Ben Simmons, of course, didn't work out. So that experiment didn't work. So I think they need to just try to build within, um, which is going to be hard for them to do. Because, like I said, I don't think they have a lot of draft picks because of all these trades, excuse me, they have made over the years. So, so if you're a Nets fan, it's going to be a long couple of years. I think it's going to at least take a few years to get back, at least within, to be a playoff team. Other than that, I don't see it happening. So, but Coach Vaughn, like I said, I don't, um, he's been he moved around a lot as a coach. I remember as a player, that's how old I am. When he played for the Utah Jazz, that's how far I remember Jack Vaughn. Um, but it seemed like he was doing some good things in the league as a coach. But this is an indictment against him. They're saying that basically um, the players ain't want to play for him. So they wind up letting him go. But the Nets are done this year. I don't think they're going to make any type of progress. So, um, like I said, if you're a Nets fan, it's going to be a long, long couple of years. NBA All Star Weekend. Of course, a lot of criticism about the All Star game, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch it at all. I didn't watch 1 second of the All Star game, and I used to think, and I still think it could be. I think the NBA All Star Weekend and festivities is better than any other sport. Of course, the NFL, of course, the Pro Bowls don't even really exist anymore. Baseball's All Star festivities is pretty good because you sort of can't have, you know, you can't sort of simmer down in baseball. Like, either you get a hit or you don't. Either you catch the ball in the outfield or you don't. Like, it's no, maybe you might not run out a double sometimes or something like that. But other than that, baseball is pretty much just the same game you get in the regular season or spring training. That's what makes baseball to be unique in a way. Um, but right now, the All Star game, the All Star weekend period for the NBA is not as great as it used to be. The dunk contest, I know a lot of people have been on that. Like, other than the participants, but the dunks, you're not gonna. Um, like I said, it's been around too long. We've seen all types of crazy dunks. I don't think nothing could be. Either you will repeat it or you might could tweak one of the old dunks. But I mean, you're not gonna see nothing you've never seen before now. But I think you gotta have the big. I think to bring that back, you're gonna have the stars do it. Like, that's the only way. I think you could still have great dunks, but I think the stars makes that. So that's how you got to fix that problem. But like LeBron, everybody was jumping on LeBron about that. Why he ain't never do it? I think he should. I would like to see him do it at least a couple times, but nothing we can do about it now. He definitely ain't doing it now at this age. So um, the 3-point contest, the only one that's sort of interesting still. Dame won back to back there. Speaking of the dunk contest, McGloin now played for the Sixers, I believe, or did he play for the Sixers last year? But he won it track to back. I know he was in Orlando and Philadelphia. I think he might be in Orlando right now. Um, let me see. Can I look that up real quick? Yeah, I think he's. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah. Um, but yeah, you gotta have some stars in it for the dunk contest. The 3-point contest is always just, especially now that the game is based on threes. I think you know that's why that's probably the best thing during the weekend. And then Dame Lillard's a big enough star for him to be in it. So trying to. I just want to be sure what team he played for. Um, but yeah, I mean the whole it's not as good as it used to be. I think they need to like I said, revamp it big time. Oh, so he is in Orlando now. Okay, but he was in Philadelphia when he won it last year. So my gut was right, but I just wanted to be sure. Um, The skill, they said the skills competition was terrible this year, and I like that competition when you run. Excuse me, when you run through the obstacle course and stuff. But they said that wasn't that good this year. They pretty much the whole weekend got, especially the game and then the game itself. Now that was terrible. I didn't see it, but looking at the score, and then I think what people got off like 90 something threes each team or something crazy. Like, nah, man. Like, there was no. I mean, first of all, if you look at just the rosters, excuse me, if you look at just the rosters, the West roster was stacked against the East. So to me, that tells me that the West didn't play hard enough. And I think the East just made their threes, and maybe they made more than the West did. That was the difference of the game. But yeah, they need to change. They need to do something about it. I don't know. Like I said, back in my, telling my age, back in like the mid 90s, when Jordan was around. I'm not putting it all on Jordan because even after Jordan, in the 2000s, basically the first half you play around. Third quarter you kind of fill it out. You fill each other out. But in the fourth quarter, you're really trying to win the game, especially if it's close. Um, so I think they need to, the players just gotta get back into that. But yeah, it wasn't good at all. I didn't watch nothing. I was busy too, but at the same time, I didn't have the desire to even watch. I wanted to maybe glance at it a little bit, but I was like, dang, maybe I should have watched. But then when I got up in the morning and seen everything, I was like, nah, like I didn't miss anything. So, but the NBA could get it back. Just players, gotta take it a little bit more serious. And like I said, the dunk contest you really can't fix unless you cost it your big stars compete in it. Um, Other than that, you're not gonna fix it. So it is what it is, though. Like that's some days you just gotta take it for what it is. Um, and I don't think this going to change overnight. I just hope they'd be able to do nothing crazy like Adam said, like make some type of rule, and you know, I just hope that don't happen because you really can't. You just can't. The players gonna have to fix this themselves, in my opinion. So, all right, so let's look at ahead to the second half. Let's take a look at the standings. We'll touch on every team, what I expect for them for the second half and for the immediate future. Had somebody peeking. Thank you for coming in, peeking in. I mean, maybe some people watch the playback. We're pretty much almost done. Um, let's start the East. We'll go from bottom to top. Detroit 8-46. They done. Washington's done 9-45. Charlotte's done 13-41. Toronto, like I said, they pretty much traded all their major pieces. So they going to rebuild. They done 19-36. We brought up the Nets 21-33, but you're seeing all the moves they made. So the 10 that's above, the 10 that's up that I'm, from 10 on, I think these will be a playoff teams. It just depends on the order. Um, but these will be a 10 playoff team this year. Atlanta Hawks at 10, 24-31. Um, there was a lot of rumors about Deontay Murray and Trey Young, but I think now that they know that they're going to be there for the rest of the season, I think Atlanta might make a little push. So check out the Atlanta Hawks. Look out for the Atlanta Hawks. Chicago Bulls, same. I thought they would make some more moves. Um, let's see if Jack Devine get healthy. Still no word on LaMelo Ball, but they still got a decent team. They had 9 with 26 to 29. Orlando Magic, like I said, started off the season hot. I knew they would come back down to earth a little bit, but I still think they compete every night. I like what they're doing in Orlando. Let's see what they do the rest of the season. Miami Heat, 30-25. The Heat, like I said, they might just sleepwalk through the rest of the season. Um, but once the playoffs start, they're going to be ready and prepared. So don't worry about the Heat too much. It'd be good for them to at least get out the play, at least get 6 or higher. But we'll see. Indiana Pacers, been an up and down season for the Pacers. It's been a fun team to watch. We'll see what they second half entails for them. Um, Tyler Halliburton having a great year. They added PL Siakam, so I think the Pacers will see if they make a jump. Um, 5 Philadelphia 76ers, 32-22. Of course, all the injuries with Maxey and Joel Embiid. Of course, they're going to be still a playoff team, but we'll see what the Sixers do. But it's going to be on how healthy they are. But they could be dangerous. They fall kind of down a little bit. Maybe a 6 seed. Let's say they're a 6 seed. They go against Milwaukee in the first round at 3. That'll be interesting because Milwaukee is there right now. New York Knicks 33-22 and fourth place in the East. Knicks I think got a chip on their shoulder. Especially Jalen Brunson. Um, I like what they did. They let RJ Barrett go, but they got some good pieces back. I think they more of a deeper team. Let's see how they do in the playoffs. Milwaukee Bucks I just brought up. I think the Bucks, like I said, is gonna be fine. I mean, I did have some issues with defense, but I think they're gonna be okay. But we'll see what they do in the second half of the season. I think their defense is going to improve because that's been a major problem. Um, but just to throw a little, just to be a little devil's advocate here, Dame talk about his starting five and Giannis wasn't on it. So I thought that was interesting. You playing with Giannis, you would think he would have put Giannis on it, but he didn't. So I wonder how Giannis felt about that, or could mean nothing, but you just never know with in today's NBA what means something what don't. So just look out for that. Um, Cleveland, Cleveland Cavaliers, they surprised me. I gotta give the Cleveland Cavaliers credit. They've been hanging around. They all the way up to 2 in the East. Still don't like them. Still not sure about them in the playoffs. It depends on who they play in the first round. But I think if they somehow can stay at 2, they get a 7 seed. If it's Orlando, Chicago, or Atlanta, maybe they could beat them in the first round. But if it's Miami, I got Miami winning that series because right now that's who they would be. But if it's anybody else that's lower than Miami, then Cleveland might can make it to the second round this year if they stay 2. But I think Milwaukee's going to make a push and go to 2. Um, if the Sixers get healthy at the right time, they might can move up. The Knicks is capable of doing it as well. So Cleveland, if they can definitely get that second seed and hold it, I think it'd be huge for them going into the postseason. And the Boston Celtics, to me, clearly the best team in basketball. Very deep. Um, my only issue is, it is not that much of an inconsistency like Brown and Tatum. Um, I think they got to still figure out who's the number one guy. Porzingis got to stay healthy. If those 3 days happen, the bench play like they do, Boston should be fine and should make a finals run again. So that's the East. Now the West is very, very interesting. The West is very, very interesting. Once we start getting to the top, let's get the teams that I think is done out the way. San Antonio done 11-44. Portland's done 15-39. Memphis done 20-36. Of course, the Ja Morant thing pretty much derailed their season. Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz. I'm gonna do Houston first because they lower. They slipping a little bit, but I still like what they doing. I still think they might get pushed for the play-ins. I'm not gonna declare them done yet, but they on the brink. If they got to get off to a good start to start the second half. Jazz, like I said, they hung around as well. But I feel the same way. They can't fall too far behind, or we might have our 10 already in this as also. Golden State Warriors. Like I said, I go back and forth with my brother about them all the time. He still believes in them. He still think they can make a run. I don't know. Like I said, I think with this current team, I don't think so. I think they might make the play-in, but I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs long if they make it. I still think Utah and Houston can come up. LA Lakers at 9, 30-26. Lakers, like I said, just I don't know how to put the Lakers. Like they got LeBron is playing well. Anthony Davis is probably having one of his career years. Um, uh, um, I don't know. It depends on what the role players. If Austin Reeves stay consistent, and the role players around them. Other than that, I'm not sure about the Lakers. Sacramento Kings. You can say they took a step back this year, but I think they're still learning. De'Aaron Fox, and Sabonis. I think Sabonis sort of hit. I don't want to say a wall, but I think people starting to figure him out a little bit. But they still excited team to watch. Dallas Mavericks. Luka, of course, will be Luka. It depends on how consistent Kyrie can be, and they players around them as well. Um, Number 6, New Orleans Pelicans. Like I said, I wanna get fully behind the Pelicans, but they always fall apart. We'll see what they do this year. They at 6 right now. They tied with Phoenix, who is fifth at 33 and 22. Suns, of course, has the talent. Durant, Booker, and Bill. If they stay healthy, they'll definitely be a playoff team. But um, I think one of their biggest weaknesses is they need even though Jokic is okay, but he needs help in the middle. Um, Denver Nuggets, can't count them out. They're the defending champions. If they healthy at playoff time, they'd be a problem for anybody. They fourth right now though at 36 and 19. LA Clippers. We about to see. Now the second half of the season coming. They stay healthy all year. Russell Westbrook, like I said, tip his hat to him. He's took his role very, very well. But can Kawhi and Paul George stay healthy? They will. If they do, the Clippers should be a contender. OKC Thunder, still, you can tell they're still learning, but they're young. I like them. Like I said last week, depends on who they get in the first round. Um, if they could get by, but I like their young team. I think they're going to get better and better over the years. And at number 1, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just great defensively. Great defensively. I think offensively they're a little inconsistent. And I also think just because they're the 1 seed, I think it depends on who they get. I think the Kings right now would be their opponent. I think the Kings will push them. The Kings do have playoff experience. Um, OKC right now would be Dallas. That'll be a tough matchup for them. So um, I think in the West, like the seedings don't matter as much, especially if the top 2 be Minnesota and OKC. Just to say that holds. I think depending on who they get in the first round, and it could be the Lakers or the Warriors because they're in that playoff spot. So even though they lower than 8, if one of those teams um, they had to face in the first round, that'd be a tough sledding for them as well. So, but should be a great second half of the season. Like I said, I really like Boston. I think Boston clearly the best team. Um, I think, like I said, I still don't dismiss Milwaukee. Like I said, I got problems about Cleveland. In the East, but in the West, like I said, it's pretty much wide open this year. I think it's going to really depend on matchups. Um, and like I said, I think Warriors and the Lakers, even though I don't like them going far, but their experience could get them far. They'd be 2 dangerous teams if they do make the playoffs. So, all right, so let's talk NFL. I'm gonna touch on the pretty much update the Chiefs parade shooting tragedy. Again, congratulations to the Chiefs by winning the Super Bowl back to back. First team to do it since the Patriots 03-04. I think the Chiefs, like I said, I think they're gonna be better next year. So I think if you could get them this year, they will be tougher out next year. But just to touch on the shooting at the parade. The 2 adults has been charged with murder. Of course, it was a local DJ, a woman, lost her life. So many other people got hurt, and it had to be over something stupid. I mean, I'm just gonna imagine it was over something dumb. Juveniles was involved. I think somebody got in an argument. One person pulled out a gun, and everybody that had guns pulled out their guns, and it was just a Golden Corral type atmosphere. Not to put any light on it, but it was just like the Wild West. And a lot of more innocent people got hurt than people that. Not saying those people anybody could get hurt, but I don't think who they were shooting at, probably didn't hit who they wanted to shoot at. So But yeah, I touched on it a little bit last week. It's just unfortunate. The two adults thing that just came up the last couple of days. But mostly it was juveniles involved, and juveniles in this country right now, the crime is at an all-time high. The laws, there's some loopholes in the laws. Um, why these kids they getting punished for it? But I think personally, especially for some crimes like that, I understand like stealing. Even though stealing, I don't like stealing either. Stealing it to me is um, something you definitely shouldn't do, especially with somebody work hard for it and you just come and take it. I hate that. That's cowardness as well. But I think with that, you can sort of you know not let them like slap them on the wrist a little bit for that. Like no, not in their lives or put it that way. But with murder and guns and stuff like that, that's just I think even at that age, that that's really going too far. I think they should get charged as adults when it comes to things like that. Um, and but still get rehabilitated. Because that's a whole other of subject, the way the prison system is and all that stuff. But um, this has to stop, man. Like the violence has to stop. Like I said, I'm from Baltimore, and things ain't slowed down here too much. So especially with our juveniles committing a lot of petty crimes, stealing cars and um, robbing people, robbing elderly people. It's just terrible. So um, it's our fault, our generation. Um, and like I said, I blame social media, man. Like I know I probably sound like an old man, but and I'm on social media. I'm on social media right now. This is considered social media, but I just think social media give people more of a attention. They want more of a attention high now. Like you can for the right person to see a video, you could blow up overnight. I mean, you really could, like literally can. So I think people be chasing that, and then it's just even among your peers, like people that's local to you, like you can just be popular on that. You can do a video, doing something stupid, and you can flip your popularity just like that. So I think that's the issue, the deeper issue. But unfortunately, somebody lost their live, and it's terrible. It's sort of dapper on the Chiefs, victory. So my condolences to Chief Nation, Chiefs Kingdom. Like I said, I'm a Ravens fan. Like I said, I got back and forth into it with a Chiefs fan. Y'all, if y'all been watching. Um, but it's always there's no. Of course, you don't want to see nobody get hurt or that happening to nobody. We had to do it. We get you back on the field. We don't want nothing outside of the teams or football doing anything to somebody. So that's my thoughts on that. Um, uh, I just hope people can find peace. But I put it like this: I know next year they're gonna have. I mean, it was a lot of security there, but this will be really really tight knit next year. Let's just say the Chiefs win it again, which is possible. Or at any parade, probably from going forward. What's next? Basketball. That'll be the next one. In major sports. So and hockey. So them parades is gonna be probably got the army out there because of these crazy individuals. Um, so that's just my quick thoughts on that. So our last topic of the day, I wanted to talk about Justin Fields, of the Chicago Bears quarterback, young kid. I like Justin Fields a lot. I think he improved this year. Had some injuries, but got the Bears back in the almost the playoff contention. Of course, they fell short. I'm gonna read what he said. He just said he wants it to be over about the trade talks. And then I'm gonna give my thoughts on what I think the Bears should do. Because the NFC North now. Now it's pretty much a strong division now. You got Green Bay and what they did. Um, the Lions, I think they're going to get better. And Minnesota, if they Kirk Cousins comes back with the talent they have, they're going to be a hard team to beat. So the Bears right now are clearly the fourth best team in that division. But I think if they keep Justin Fields, maybe trade the one pick and get more picks to build your team, I think they could be competitive. But okay, so basically he's saying, I don't want to read the whole article, but basically because a lot of days started going crazy because he unfollowed the Bears on social media on Instagram, and he just said basically he wanted a break. He didn't want to have him on the timeline because all they probably is talking about is him and him possibly being traded. So but let's see. So the Bears pretty much gave a generic answer. They just saying they explored all options. But like I said, I'm just going to tell you what I think they should do. Now, my boy Caper, shout out to my boy Caper. I'm going to have to probably tag him in this video. Hope you're doing well, by the way, bro. He's a Bears fan, Chicago sports fan. And I asked him a couple of months ago, right after the season ended. I was like, what you think they should do with Fields? Should they keep him and trade the one pick? Or pretty much the same question I'm asking. He said trade Fields. Now, I think he might be just emotional. The season just ended. I would like to ask him again now what he thinks, because I really think, I disagree with him. I really think they should keep Fields. I really think Fields is the guy for the job. I would say flip the one pick, maybe go stay in the first round. Hopefully stay in the top 5, because if it's a chance you get Marvin Harrison Jr., get a receiver, get a good receiver to help Fields out. Go on the other side of the receiver that came from Carolina. That'd be a good duo. And then for the rest of the draft, build your offense. Defense wasn't bad, but they, in the back end, you got to improve. But I think get more draft picks to build your team, because if they trade Fields, and you might could do it that way too, but you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna get. I mean, you might get a couple of 2s and 3s, but I think But your quarterback, whoever it is going to be behind the 8 ball. They'll be a rookie, so not saying that they can't play well. But I honestly don't think they're going to do too much better than Fields did. So I say keep Fields. He's better. He's going to be better. Build your team by trading the one pick. I think that's a better option than doing it. If you do it this way, you already pretty much next year. You're not. I mean, I don't expect y'all to make the playoffs. Speaking to the Bears fans now, I don't expect the Bears to make the playoffs if they do it that way. If they trade Fields, keep the one pick, or if you do trade Fields, you got to get maybe some offense. Like you gotta build. You gotta really make that work. You help your rookie quarterback out. You got to get have somebody on offense that can really help him out. So that's gonna be interesting to see. But that's what I think they should do. I don't think they should trade Fields. I think they should keep him. I think he's proven that he can improve and lead this team, in my opinion. But I understand Caper. He might still don't change his mind. But I think the better option for them to win sooner, I think they should keep Fields. They trade him away and draft somebody at number 1, whoever it is. It could be Caleb Williams, any of those quarterbacks coming out. I think it's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to take some time. So that's my opinion on Justin Fields. But I think he's a good kid. But if they do trade him away, I think whoever does get him, if they use him right, I think Fields. I liked him at Ohio State as well. I think he's a good quarterback. I think you just got to be patient with him. And I think he'd be good for your team. So, all right. So that's our show for the day. 44 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Thought it'd be a little bit shorter, but not bad. Not bad at all. Just some quick thoughts. Next week we probably be on Wednesday. Next Thursday I work, and then next Friday I got a lot of things to do. So Wednesday will be my target day for next week's blog. 259. We're talking about pretty much some of the same stuff. Some MLB stuff. We'll see. Anything happens during spring training. Basketball season will be back in full, so we'll talk about that next week. And probably some more NFL news will come up. If so, we'll touch on that as well. As free agency is coming in a few weeks, so it'll be still some NFL topics to talk about in the next coming weeks. Um, like I said, I want to thank you guys again. Like I said, the channel has been growing at a rapid pace. I think in the last 2 weeks, we've gotten almost 100 subscribers. So basically, almost doubling my subscriber count. Yeah, I like the Nintendo Switch, the retro series stuff, especially the Super Mario Brothers 1 clips. I just put up another one this morning, right before I came live. That's part of the reason why I was a little late, by the way. Then I had to eat something. But yeah, y'all been liking those a lot. The Mario Wonder, um, Mario versus Donkey Kong. Um, they're the two modern games, but everything else has been retro. Like I said, the Killer Instinct. I was so happy. I was kind of, I predicted it, but I was kind of pumped that they put Killer Instinct on the game list, on the NES list on the Switch Online. So I was happy about that. I got to get into it again. I ain't played it in years, so I was still practicing so I could put some good videos up. But the Switch has been a lot of fun. And once I figure out how I can stream, I start streaming, doing longer videos as well. So thank you guys so much for that. And I just thank everybody who's been hanging in there with me, being patient with me. Like I said, all my YouTube um, supporters, Dollar the Hologram, my boy Keeper I brung up. Kind of missing my man B. I was hoping he would come in here through here today. I'm sort of worried about him. He's over there in Turkey, where it's dangerous over there. So hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard from him the last couple of streams. Then last week I wasn't on, so I'm hoping um, he's fine. Um, my girl from Cali, um, my friend there, she's I probably had to tag um, her page on. I did on my community wall. So pretty much everybody on my community wall, that's my YouTube family right there. So go check them out. Um, and that's gonna do it for today. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. Same time, 10 a.m. But it'll just be Wednesday instead of Thursday. Um, and if anything happens, I do a little short or something. Check out my other channel. I'm trying to grow it, but that's been on a standstill. Charlotte Sports Gaming Shorts. I'll probably tag that in this video as well. Go subscribe to that channel. I would pretty much put all my shorts over there, um, and maybe do some special stuff over there from here, here and there. But that'll be my second channel. So subscribe to that channel. Um, but thank you guys. Hopefully y'all watch the replay. We'll sit here alone today, but that's fine. We'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. I'm Troy West. Thank you for watching the South Sports Gaming channel. Check out all my projects, all my shorts, all my videos, community wall, Instagram, Facebook, all that is on my channel. So go check me out. And I'll see you guys. Y'all have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Peace and love.